Hey everyone, it's Coach Rick. And as we're coming into phase 3, phase 4, it's important to have you guys get back out and do the exercises. But if you go back right into where we left off in February, March, you might get hurt. So a lot of us have been actually not doing anything. So don't be tempted to go straight into the exercise. You're gonna have to do some pre-season conditioning. And what I wanted to talk about today is that the forearms are such an underutilized muscle group. Forearms and calves actually. So it's important to work the forearms, at least as far as some kind of stretching program. So I'll be doing a pre-season conditioning video with my friends at Endorphin Effect. But if you have weak forearms or if you have tight forearms, then when you go to do things like pull-ups, you can have the strongest lats in the world, but if you don't have any strength in these things, you'll give up like I just did because I couldn't pull myself up. So it's important to build endurance. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the problem with the elbow or forearm is that there are nerves that go through wrist and elbow. So these are the two, if you can see it, median and ulnar nerve that go through pinch points. So this thing, when it's pinched off, can cause carpal tunnel. This thing, when it's pinched off, will cause what bikers have. This is called Guyan's Canal, but they'll have numbness and tingling. Not a good thing. If you have temporary numbness and tingling, fine. If you have a history of temporary numbness and tingling, be careful with starting to do a lot of work, because whether you have a problem with the wrist or the elbow, the excessive work will cause problems at the pinch point. Here's the pinch points to the elbow, and those muscles, or at least the nerves, should be protected. What happens is the nerve travels through a little canal at where the arm bends, and it's protected. Sometimes if you damage the elbow or break the elbow in a fall, then the tiny canal here will collapse and pinch the nerve, and you'll have numbness and tingling nonstop. Bottom line is, if you have weakness to the forearms, work on them pre-season, and I'll do a video for pre-season conditioning soon. If you have numbness and tingling from before and you're just starting to exercise again and you're doing a lot of pulling, be careful, it might flare up. The thing I mentioned here, Guyan's Canal, a lot of cyclists have it from pushing down on the handlebars, so you're again pinching off. If you're working with weights, dumbbells in your house, which a lot of people have, you can be doing a lot of this stuff. And sometimes with excessive movements to the wrist, again, you'll pinch or you cause overuse. Watch yourself. So if you have any numbness or tingling and it lasts more than 3 days, probably should call your doctor. If it's getting worse, where it's getting to the point of weakness, you definitely have to go to the emergency room. There's something called compartment syndrome. I've only seen it once in 20 years, where a construction worker came in. He couldn't lift his hand anymore because the muscles were so tight that they choked off the nerve. There wasn't any fracture at the elbow. There's no fracture pinching off the nerve, but the nerve does have to travel down this way, and the muscles were so tight that it choked off the nerve and he couldn't move it. So it was an emergency capsulotomy. Or at least you have to fasciotomy, where you cut the wrapper and let the muscles grow, or at least to breathe. Not a good thing, but I doubt that any of you will have that. Most of you will stop when you have numbness and tingling or pain develop, especially if it's forearm lactic acid. So again, you have to slowly get into the activities. If you have any issues with golfer's elbow, that's to the flexor group, usually this, or tennis elbow to the extensor group, this, especially backhand. Work on flexibility first. If you're not sure what to do, check out my video that's coming up, or ask your doctor to send you to an occupational therapist, a hand therapist, a physical therapist, and they can teach you a couple of good building blocks for what to do in pre-season conditioning. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea about how to be careful with yourself. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube, and I'll see you at the next video.